Everywhere you go, the spotlight will be on you. Daily life will start to feel like a long-running surreal comedy drama TV series. Everyone is the antagonist. Most crimes committed will occur around you. Dysfunction will surround you and pass as normal behavior. Meanwhile, your calm, quiet composure draws everyone's attention. You start to feel like an anomaly, singled out despite doing what everyone else does, and judged harshly for simply existing. If you have good friends who care and stand by you, and they see you having fun, they will also be included into the act. They'll also witness the chaos up close. They will be followed, watched, have street theater done to them, and face both physical and financial attacks. You either leave carrying the weight of all their problems, or they leave you alone so that they can release from them. Relationships are actively destroyed, making isolation inevitable. Only honeypots are sent your way to either distract you, set you up, or to have a one-night stand. Not even worth your time. A lot of them be having deep-rooted issues that you simply can't heal for them. Their handler has them right where they want them. It's nothing you can do, so chasing love becomes a dead end. The amount of police and security presence you will see is diabolical. Just because something worked out for you the first time, and it was quick and convenient, don't expect it to be the same way next time. You will be disappointed every time.
This is why I'm alone. They really don't want me being able to connect with anyone, and they're doing a very good job of it, I have to admit. It's turned into quite a challenge. And then each relationship that I have with TI is if I pursue one, on the phone or in video call, I can see it in them. Some of them just can't wait to get away from it. I don't know what's happening to them, but they're being tortured or they're getting a bunch of anxiety or panic attacks or something. And others just get angry all the time. It keeps happening over and over again. There are two in my mind. I don't name names. That's not what I do. Because we're not really fully responsible. We can't be held responsible for our actions because we're targeted. These aren't accidents, they're efficiency tactics. When the mind is chasing phantoms, it's not building defenses. The isolation protocol. This one was where it gets a little bit rough. Every TI eventually faces the same fork: stay connected or withdraw. The system of targeting makes either path self defeating. The solitary TI. I've been this person. And I'm going to talk about myself here because that's the only example that I have. The solitary TI believes only they know the truth, so everyone else becomes a suspect. The factional TI joins a group that sees all others as outsiders. Boy, I see this a lot. The knowledgeable TI becomes unteachable, creating ignorance from illumination. Now, I've been there as well. These days, I try to stay really open-minded, and I get to watch it happen to my work, to have my suggestions dismissed out of hand by people who don't understand what I'm saying. Um, so we face an uphill battle. Look, if we're not targeted, we're going to be similar. This is a human thing that's being amplified, so it's going to be present no matter what. The targeting only makes it worse for us, but that's important to recognize that we do have it worse. So I mean, going into that and knowing that, we really should take steps and recognize these facts. Set up protocols to allow us to use steps, reliable methods. This is what I try to do in every case that I can, instead of rely on how I feel that day or what I think the path should be that day. That's not the way to go, because they'll screw me up, change things, and make me less efficient. I've seen that happen over and over again. Not just less efficient, but less effective. Moving on. The religious TI can see the unwashed masses as unworthy, potentially permanent outsiders. And that's, look, again, I'm not pointing the finger at anyone here. Okay, you're not guilty, straight up, because you're a TI. We're not guilty. We're just trying to get by, man, and they're exploiting all these things out of us. So we can't look at each other and say, yeah, those guys, I can't believe those TIs. That's not what I'm saying here. And we really shouldn't be like that, because all of our behaviors are being altered, and then also the way that we see others is being altered. Even if there was a perfect TI, we wouldn't see them that way. the program would make sure that that's the case. We would hate them for this or that. So each version neutralizes collaboration. Every potential alliance becomes another containment cell. Assume you are at least two of these examples to some degree. Okay? The solitary TI, the factional TI, the knowledgeable TI, the religious TI, the perpetual initiate, or the successful or recognized TI. The reason I say assume you're at least two of these examples is because it's the program does a very good job of hiding these things from us. It can be very difficult to recognize who we are. So let's try to place ourselves in these positions and see if the shoe fits. And if that's the case, we should probably look to take steps to become more community oriented. We need to search ourselves, find where we correspond with these archetypes, and take steps to change for the sake of the community and the fight. The creator's trap. Number 4. We've been trained to mistrust one another's insight. A TI will reinvent what another already built because recognition itself has been weaponized. Our pride is tuned like an instrument and played against us. Competition, baby. That's what made America great, right? America. Yeah. TI versus TI. Ugh! Bring it on! That's not the way to go, though, right? I mean, what the hell? What are we doing here? You know what I mean? We're making money off of each other. And in doing so, recognize we're holding back information. Whenever you're doing that, you're holding back information that could be helpful. We're competing with each other. We're not focusing on, we're not rising above to beat this. In other words, to some degree, we sort of deserve it. Because if we're not going to do what's necessary to beat this thing, then we've determined ourselves that we deserve it. Don't look to me. Don't blame me for it. You did it. Moving on. I told you this was going to be a little brutal. Newton said, if I have seen shoulders of giants. We've been conditioned to cut the ladder instead at the knees. Whack. Independent creators recover identical ground because validation only counts when public approval blesses it. It's why known information circles endlessly. A feedback loop mistaken for progress. Those who could build on each other's work start from scratch, unknowingly maintaining stasis. Now, I want to talk about that. It's very difficult for creators, but they'll allow creators to create. They make it difficult for creators to read other creators' material. This is something that creators have to overcome. I can speak for myself. They slow my brain down even more than they normally do. They give me headaches. They try to, get me to pay attention to other things. They cause problems. The targeting program, algorithms, and social engineering amplify competition, ego, and suspicion, the inverse of progress. Too often I've watched brilliant TI minds with excellent ideas that could be vital to the movement remove themselves for reasons of personal advancement. The focus shifts from defeating those killing us to building a website, a company, or some other pursuit. The community loses another builder to the marketplace. Others fall to the autonomy reflex, the belief that cooperation threatens their individuality. They guard their fragments of insight like kingdoms, like I was talking about, mistaking isolation for sovereignty. But insight, look, I mean, this is not a copyright that we can make money on down the line. And if we're thinking along those terms, I'm sorry, man, I just can't get on board with that. Let's move on. But insight hoarded is insight neutralized. In the end, both the grifter and the gatekeeper serve the same function, containment. And these are things that, the program knows us. The AI, all that stuff, they know our brains well. They know the path of least resistance. They're going to find the one that fits us best, and they're going to go with it. It's going to be very difficult for us to, first of all, recognize it, second of all, do something about it. But it's incumbent on us to do these things. 5, how they keep us off the trail. The pattern is consistent. They feed stimuli that feels urgent but leads nowhere. Now this happens to me too. They break the link between truth and traction. They use moral inversion, making the honest seem naive and the deceptive seem authoritative. They delay breakthroughs by flooding the field with noise. They slowly condition our minds via the technology, steering us away from what is right, away from what could harm them, and away from what would allow us to convene. That's a big thing. They appeal to blank, a strategy matched to our personalities. That's a big one. The unknown. right? By the time truth appears, we are invested in our fallacies, and recovery feels too embarrassing to attempt. But we are targeted individuals, included. This is beautiful, you guys. This is very important. But we are targeted individuals. Included in this plan is an earned right to be wrong before we get right. They will make us feel as if a slight mistake or infraction amounts to unforgivable sin. It doesn't. We need to have thick skin. We need to recognize we're not perfect. We need to go in to every conversation looking to improve and change for the better. We need to be quick to forgive and quick to forget when it comes to TIs, because it's not them that's doing it. And the program is not going to allow us to see that. We have to wheel that one out ourselves. It's not going to be provided for us as a service. They would poison us against each other before we even try. They would convince us that cooperation is impossible before it's attempted. In every boxing or MMA fight, there is a favored fighter, but there's a reason they go ahead with the fight and don't just assume a victory for the favored. Reality cannot be fully prognosticated, and certainly not by the targeted mind. So when we feel like it simply won't work, or there's no point in trying that with that person, I submit that experience and wisdom might not be the parent of that thought, and it might have instead appeared artificially through the targeting program. The counter move, reclaiming focus and fellowship. The way out is simple but not easy. Developing focus audits. Ask daily, is this leading me toward clarity or confusion? Collaborate intentionally. Verify, then build together. Now that can be very difficult. I collaborated recently, and throughout the collaboration, there were situations in which there were misread. There were emotional outbursts. I noticed they're still continuing. Things that are misunderstood, pressures, etc. It's not easy being a TI. So I'm having to back off on these things. I think that the way that I'm seeing it is that it's going to be very difficult to join with somebody for long periods of time, and that maybe one project at a time is probably the way to go, and then go our separate ways and try to do it again with someone else. That's what I would like to try. If I find somebody I can stick with, that'll be great, but I haven't found that person yet. Refuse pride's bait. Recognition is less important than reconstruction. Look, if you did work that's worthy of recognition, you'll get it. But recognition is not all it's cracked up to be. Recognition is essentially fame. And Bill Murray said, if you ever find yourself wanting fame and fortune, try fortune first, just by itself. Because he said there are a lot of people that don't agree with recognition and fame, and I'm one of those people. I don't really want it, and they certainly give me that as a gift every year, all year long, not just Christmas. And but the only thing is, it's a necessary thing for me if I'm going to get my work out there. I need some recognition so that people recognize my name and they know that there's some quality there and they can tune into it. So it's a necessary evil for me. They divide, we reconnect. They misdirect, we reorient. They make us doubt each other. We choose trust based on evidence, not emotion. Emotion will never be our friend. But even connection has a built-in trap, mockery. The mockery reflects how clarity gets laughed out of the room. That's how progress stalls. Each attempt to build on prior work is met with derision, not dialogue. The laughter isn't joy, it's containment, a pressure valve that keeps minds from opening. When truth threatens confusion, the system doesn't always argue back. Sometimes it just laughs. A single emoji can do the work of 1,000 counter-arguments, signaling to the crowd that your insight is ridiculous without anyone having to engage its content. It's social control disguised as humor. In one recent exchange, I told another TI that the answers that she was searching for, essentially, were in my Rebuild series. Her reply wasn't disagreement or curiosity, it was a laughing emoji. That tiny icon carried a message, don't take him seriously. It let me know that she wasn't serious about it, or beyond my ability to help, so I had to let her go. Installed contempt ensures no one listens. Installed laughter ensures no one learns.